teen pregnancy rates and birth control prices have increased. Over 75% of the female population in high school are on birth control because they simply refuse to have protected sex.
Over the past week, we interviewed both students and teachers at Summer Creek to get their take on the situation. We asked them questions such as, what is their opinion on abortions? Do they think that teen abortion is a big deal here in Summer Creek? And if they think that teenagers should be taking birth control or should be having abortions themselves. This is the information that we got back.
I mean, it really don't matter to me. Ain't none of my business what other people do, so it's whatever.
Well, I do not agree with them having an abortion, because if they're not ready to have a baby, why, doing something that eventually is gonna, come back to them. I believe that they should take measures so that they, don't get into having a baby in their teenage years.
Actually, I'll never get one, so it's up to the person that's body that deals with it. It's their choice.
I don't think it's a big deal. I feel like anybody that does have an abortion, that's their business. Everybody that does something for themselves is for an obvious reason. So I feel like, not that it's a big deal here, because I feel like when somebody does do it, it's like super low-key.
Summer Creek, I don't think, well, from what I know and see, that a lot of teenage females, they're not really aborting their child, they actually having their kids. So, I mean, it's cool, but at the same time, they're young, but, they're gonna do what they wanna do, So.
It could be a big issue. I don't hear anything about it, but teenagers are faced with a lot of tough choices in life, and I can't say yes or no on that one.
I feel like everybody should be on birth control if you're having sex.
If you're having unprotected sex, then yeah. I mean, it's like a condom, but for girls.
But also like it's a lot going through it, like on the pill, like any type of birth control. It puts you through a lot.
It's a good thing now all the babies around.
My personal opinion on this is that if you're going to be sexually active, you should be on some form of birth control if you're a teenager. If you are sexually active, you need to protect yourself against having babies early or disease. It's a necessity.
What we learned from these interviews that we showed you today, and some that we weren't able to show, is that a lot of people here in Summer Creek are fine with it. Even though some say they don't need to agree with it, they still say it's necessary sometimes. That some people need to have an abortion or need to be on birth control. But there was a rare few that actually said no. They said that keep the baby regardless of the situation. And we had to tell them that some babies are born into poverty or families that don't want them. And some are children of victims of rape. And still they said, keep the baby. There's no reason to take a living organism away. And though many of us can disagree with that, we can't control what other people think. Such as they can't control how we think of the situation if we're for it. And we can't control them if they're against it. That's their own beliefs.